Today I'm going to show you how to make a slab fish, just like this one right here. So I'm going to start out by wedging the clay, because Mrs. Parks might have some really great clay for you to start with, but if you have to start over, you're going to need to get that clay wet and then wedge it. To wedge it, you push down on the clay and pull back. If you're doing it right, you should get kind of a spiral being made on the edge. This gets the moist clay and the dry clay mixed together, and it makes any air pockets come out. Once the clay is wedged, you'll need to roll it out with a rolling pin. I like to pound it flat a little bit before rolling it out with the rolling pin. Okay. Notice that I'm not using the handles, because that just doesn't work very good. It's too much work to get it rolled out. So instead I'm using my hands on the rolling pin itself, not the handles. I keep flipping the clay because the clay sticks to the canvas. So if the clay's sticking to the canvas, then it doesn't want to roll out very nicely. But by flipping it, that makes it easier. So it'll start to roll out better for you. Okay, when you're done rolling out the clay, then you can take your fish pattern and put it right on the slab. Take your paperclip tool and cut out the shape of your fish. You want to make sure that you're cutting all the way through to the bottom, because if you're not, it's going to be really hard to pull the extra clay away from your fish. All that extra clay, you're just going to need a tiny bit of that extra clay to finish up your fish, and the rest of it we will recycle so we can use it with some of the other students to make their clay projects. And that's the thing about a slab project. You always end up with extra clay. You can't have just what you need, or you can't make a slab big enough to roll it out and make the piece you need. Okay, I like to take the part where the fin is and kind of make sure that we can tell that's a separate fin. So I'm going to go ahead and draw lines in it. There we go. I can put this back here. Okay. I've got this fin right here that I want to add, but I'm gonna make some designs for the fish scales first, and I have all these really great tools to do that with. Here's one that I really like. Okay, and oh yes, lizards are always fun. Shells work nice to make scales. Well, what fish is complete without a little bit of flour on it? Okay, now that I'm done adding the textures, I'm going to take a little tiny piece. Here, we'll do the fin first. I can take some leftover slab and just cut the fin out of it. It's pretty easy to do it that way. Or I can just take a piece and kind of shape it into a fin. Either way works. To make sure that's going to stick, I need to take my water and toothbrush, and I want to get my toothbrush wet, but then I want to rub the extra on the edge of the cup like that. Then I can slip and score, and slip and score. Stick that on there. Got to do a little welding to make sure that's going to stay. I'm going to take another little piece, roll it into a ball to make the eye. Slip and score. Slip and score. I'm going to see if I can find a tool in there. This is kind of a nice one, this little marker lid, and I'm going to stick that on there. That'll press it together better and make it look even more like an eye. And now I'm going to go along the edge and kind of smooth that out and think about what last little textures I might need, because the fin that I added doesn't have any texture on it, and the place that I blended it, it still kind of needs a little work too. So I'm going to soften this corner edge here. Oh, that looks a lot better. Ooh, I could make the fish lips stand out too. This clay is getting a little dry, so I'm going to stick my finger right in the water. Just kind of moisten that. Okay. Oh yeah, those would make great lips. So slip and score, slip and score. A little bit of welding to make sure it's going to stay. Fantastic lips. Okay, so that's really gotten into my texture, so I want to kind of fix that up a bit. Let's see. I'm going to try this marker lid. Yeah, I like that. And then I think I'll try to make the lines in the fin with that too. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, when I'm all finished, I'm going to need to flip this thing over and sign my name on the back. Want to be careful. I don't want this guy to break. It's going to be real careful. Got to be careful with that tail so it doesn't fall off. Okay, it's finished. I can go put it on the cookie sheet and clean up.